Excellence in our industry comes from quality teams creating quality products. In an industry that's constantly evolving, it's your unwavering grit, determination, and passion that drives innovation and elevates standards to new heights. As brewers ourselves, we know what that passion looks like. It's the drive to create something exceptional, fueled by dedication and love for the craft. As a stainless steel equipment manufacturer for over 10 years, ABS Commercial provides a full consultative approach to our customers, from consultation and design to installation and ongoing care and maintenance. Whether you're in planning, just getting started, or looking to expand, we're here to support your growth and your success. Thank you for choosing ABS Commercial as your trusted partner.
Hello, everybody, and thanks for coming here to the virtual conference at CBP this year. And today on a Monday, I know a lot of brewers and employees are probably off, but thanks for coming out even on your off day, although I don't think that really happens in the brewing industry, does it? So my conference today, my talk today is about investing in brewing equipment. It really is investing in brewing equipment, new versus used. When you think about it, brewing equipment is going to be one of the biggest expenditures that you have. If you don't own your building, you're not going to have that expenditure. You're going to have a lease. But as far as upfront expenditures, brewing equipment is going to be one of the biggest. So making the right decision to start off or even in the future is big. It's huge. So let's get into it here. A little about me. My name is Scott Thurston. I'm ABS Commercial. I've been with ABS Commercial now for 12 years. Started off part-time and then came on full-time in January of 2016. One of the reasons I'm here and biggest reasons here is because I quickly realized that craft brewing was a community. I used to call it the brotherhood of beer. It's the brotherhood and sisterhood now. The owner of my company, ABS Commercial, and also our sister companies, Raleigh Brewing and Atlantic Brew Supply, is female. She supports the community. She loves working with Pink Boots and also supports the brewing community as a whole. We have a giveaway every 6 months or so, and you may have seen it out there online. We give away a keg washer every year, or every 6 months to a lucky user out there. So we're really about giving back to the community, and that's why I love it too. I've been drinking craft beer for a long time, since probably 87, back when you didn't have a lot of choices, but I've loved watching this community grow. So let's get into it here. So as I was mentioning at the very beginning, buying brewing equipment is really investing in your business, and it's one of the biggest choices that you're going to make when you start. Tap room's going to cost money, building out's going to cost money, but you can spend a lot or a little on brewing equipment as much as you need to. At the end of the day, it's your business. You need to do what works best for you. But let's take a look at why. What are the choices between new and also used brewing equipment, and what I think you should look out for. So, sure, new brewing equipment costs more upfront, typically. But does it really? I mean, if you look at brewing equipment now, used brewing equipment now, you're seeing typical price ranges out there from 25 to 75% of the cost compared to new equipment. I've seen some that are lower. Sometimes brewery, unfortunately, is closing and they need to get stuff out quickly. So you're going to see some prices there that may fall even lower than that range. But typically, you're going to see something in that range. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense as a business person to take a look at that. You do need to make sure your bottom line can be met, or you might be the next one. So, but opting for a new equipment is really what allows you to design a system to fit your specifications. So what I mean by that is you're going to have access to the latest features. You're going to have access to automated controls, automated cellar controls or normal cellar controls or standard cellar controls. Mash rakes. I know some people ask for a brew system without mash rakes, but I don't really recommend that. If you've ever brewed, you understand why. It's a lot of back-breaking work. So basically, those type of things are going to lead to improved efficiency and consistency in your brewing process. So basically what that is time, and time is money, and any business at all. So let's take a look now at new versus used equipment. Just a couple of things I think you need to look at when you start. Things you need to look at here would be in new versus used is quality and durability, customization, appearance, sanitation and maintenance, technology, and last but not least, support for all of that. So quality and durability, first of all, you're going to want to know wherever you buy the equipment, new or used, what's the manufacturer's reputation? What you want to do is check the manufacturer's track record. Ask questions and do your research. I see it all the time on Facebook, see it in chat sessions, stuff like that. People are asking about a particular company, even ours, and you're going to get a lot of good, honest answers there. You may get a few that say, "Oh, this company's not great. This company's this and this." The idea is to ask that question more than once. Take a look at everybody. Ask questions. Make sure you just don't have like 2 or 3 people that are just have a grudge against anybody in particular. One of the questions you want to ask about quality and also durability is, does your equipment have a warranty? Now, with used systems, it's pretty much buyer beware. You're going to be taking that equipment from either directly from a brewery, or in some cases, I've seen some people out there that are actually kind of bringing the equipment into their warehouse, and I'm not sure how much they refurb that, but then they're going to send that back out to you. But typically that's going to be a buyer beware, or you're buying it as is. So most new systems and tanks are going to carry a 5-year warranty against defects, and also some of the gauges and stuff like that. And then what about industry specifications? You want to look for like 3 or 4 stainless. Can a used provider provide you with mill sheets that show you what that stainless is made of? Do they have standardized components, software for the controls and stuff like that? Or they have standardized software for those controls? Those are questions you need to ask. Definitely something that you want to look at. I showed this, you'll see in this picture here is a picture of a Sussman boiler at one of our installs. And that kind of gets back to like manufacturer reputation and standard systems. Sussman boilers, this type of boiler is used in a lot of systems. We use these a ton in our 10 barrel and under systems because it provides electric steam for a system. So that's why we go with them. And it's a standard thing. You can find all of the documentation. You can call the manufacturer directly if you have questions too. So it's all right there. Next comes up. Next is customization. And one thing I want to talk about with customization, and one question you have is, am I maximizing my efficiency for the unique need of my facility? Every space is unique. And buying new equipment allows you to design the equipment to best utilize your space. This is that same brewery I showed you earlier with the boiler. This is Bugs Island in Clarksville, Virginia. They had had height in their building, tall, but they didn't have a lot of floor space. So we were able to build the custom system that worked for them. If you're going used, it's pretty much whatever's out in the market, and you're going to be bringing that in and trying to fit it into the space. With this space, we were able to maximize their space. You can see there's a grist case up at the top here. I don't know if you can see the mouse. That's right on top of the mash tun and the hot liquor tank. So we were able to put all those 3 tanks pretty much stacked up on each other. And then over here, we were able to put in a kettle and a condensate stack, which allowed them not to have to go through their roof. But those are things that you want to look at and consider. So again, new equipment, you can build this to your space. It's going to be all nice and new and everything. Used equipment, you're going to get what you get. Another question you're going to ask yourself is, can I grow with this system? So buying new allows you to keep the same design and look as you grow. So these guys are going to be adding tanks, and they've added a few tanks since then. They're all the same. They're all uniform, same coloring, same shine, everything. So that's important for many customers. And also with customization and with new equipment, you're able to customize. I've got a customer recently that called me and said, we've got a 30-barrel kettle Whirlpool that's down. They're hurting right now because that kettle Whirlpool is leaking, and they're trying to produce beer. The thing is, we're able to build something that can meet those needs, and even typically, even though it's not our system, match that customization to fit their spot. So things to consider there when you're doing this. But also going back to allowing you to keep the same design and look as you grow, that kind of brings me into the next spot here, which is appearance. So what you're going to do here, what you're thinking of here is, what does your system look like? Many of these breweries now are using the equipment as part of their space. So you can see this is Fishtown down in Beaufort, North Carolina. And you can see their equipment is part of their overall design aesthetic. So that's a question you want to ask. Is your equipment part of your overall design aesthetic? Customers like to see nice shiny tanks in the tap room. They don't want to mismatch, different tanks, mix and match tanks showing up there. They want to see everything kind of looks nice and new. And I know brewers and the owners do too, typically. So what you're looking at here then is, what's the visual condition of my equipment? New equipment, you're going to see like this. They're all nice and new and shiny, and they match. On the outside, scratches and dents don't look good to the customers. It looks like you're not taking care of the equipment, or it's beat up. On the inside, scratches can compromise your tank sanitation. If you're getting a new system, you're going to have new shiny equipment. If you're getting used, you need to make sure you check into that. Again, that doesn't mean it doesn't work, but you do need to ask those questions up front. You definitely need to ask the questions. If you can go get your eyes on the tanks, I would say do that with a used system or a used tanks. The more you do, the more research you do, the better off you are there. Going out of appearance then, right into sanitation and maintenance, which kind of brings me to a story with the appearance we were talking about there. I was talking about, if you go back here, inside and outside scratches. I had a customer that had some inside scratches. I was working with them to get them a new 100-barrel tank. When I went into their facility, they said they had decided to go ahead and buy a used tank. They said the only problem was when they shipped the tank 3,000 miles from Oregon over to North Carolina, they threw all the pieces, parts, gauges, everything into the tank and shipped it that way. So imagine if you're a brewery that's on a production schedule, you've got 100 barrels of beer you need to can out, and you get your tank, and next thing you know, you look in, and then you've got to fix all the scratches, make sure everything's clean, make sure the sanitation is correct with the scratches and everything, and make sure you passivate that tank correctly. So that's what you want to know. Like, what's the condition of my tanks? New stainless steel equipment is going to provide a clean and sterile environment for production. You know what you got when you got it. It's like a brand new car. Nobody else has spilled their sodas in it. Nobody else has messed with it. You can be sure your tanks are correctly passivated to your specs and cleaned and ready to use ASAP. I showed you earlier that, the tanks here are from ABS Commercial. Raleigh Brewing uses our equipment too. We can get a tank in to our brewery, have it upright, standing, pumped in, piped into glycol, and also ready to go within about an hour. And then we're ready to passivate and brew immediately. So if you're getting a used tank, you need to prepare for that. Make sure that you know what you're getting before you get it. And that kind of goes into what I'm saying here. Where was this equipment before? Used equipment can carry contaminants from the previous user that are difficult to remove. With used equipment, you typically don't know the previous owner's maintenance practices. There may be cases when you know it's somebody down the road. Again, that's part of getting your eyes on the equipment, making sure you do, kick the tires, do a kick test, make sure everything looks like it should. With used equipment, you don't know how old it is typically, or you may not know. So those are things you need to look at. But having the, not having the thing cleaned completely or not knowing how clean it can get can affect the flavor and the quality and the safety of your final product. So you want to know that. New equipment, you're going to have a manufacturer backing you, and you're going to have support when you need it. Sorry there. So the other question then, that kind of goes into the next question. If you want to know when you're getting new equipment, does my equipment have the latest technology? The latest tech can future-proof your investment. This remote control panel here that you see at the bottom of the page or the bottom of the slide, that one right there can expand. So let's say you're starting with 12 cellar tanks and you know that you're going to expand, or you might. You can purchase it with 12, come back later and plug in 12 more sockets or 12 more, the ability to plug in 12 more tanks. So you're able to future-proof that equipment. And then you know what? When you need to go and get the new tanks in, you can pop in the new system or the new cartridge. When you look at the upper system here, this is a standard control panel for us. What you're seeing there is just your standard PID controllers and your standard VFTs. All of the pieces and parts in there, and with any new manufacturer, typically, all those pieces and parts are going to be perfectly nice and clean, and you're also going to be able to buy them when you need them somewhere soon. But that gets into the last part of this quick talk. I might get you out of class early today here, but this gets you into the last part. So support is a big question. When you're getting equipment used, typically you're not going to have support. I've only seen one case where I had a customer that actually purchased a system. They purchased a used system from one of our customers, and it was brand new. Even then, they don't have that full range of support that you get when you buy something new. And some of this may come down to your experience. If you're a newer brewer or newer brewery, you may need some of that guidance and some of that advice that you get from a new manufacturer. If you've been in the business for 10, 15, 20 years, you probably have more confidence and are able to bring in a used system, make sure that that's clean and up to par for you, and also make sure that it fits into what your overall brew space looks like. So a couple questions to ask here. Can I get parts when I need them? If you get an older system, not necessarily. Some of these systems I've seen that are 10, 15, 20 years old, getting parts in them can be a challenge. Getting a new system too, especially if you're a newer brewer, even brewers that are experienced, you probably want some kind of direction on how to use that system. So for ABS Commercial, for instance, who teaches me how to use the system? Our systems offer commissioning. You're going to have guidance during installation and ongoing support. So for commissioning, typically most of the new manufacturers are going to bring in somebody that's going to brew with you on your system, brew your recipes, help you make the best beer right off the bat, because you want to be able to do that right away, and we're here to help you with that. And what if you have questions or need help? Does your manufacturer have online or phone support? Some of them do, some of them don't. I know the bigger manufacturers that I compete against and also that I'm with here, we do. And that's important. You're going to have questions about possibly what the tank, a tank drawing or something like that. We can provide that. We've done that before. So just a quick story there. I had a customer recently that just bought a used brew house, and it was a used brew house from ABS, but the customer had ordered it without controls. So they built their own. The customer gets the brew house or the customer bought the facility with the brew house, and next thing I know, they're reaching out to me asking me questions, and I realized quickly that, oh, this wasn't a standardized part. This was something that the customer built. So imagine you're trying to brew beer right away, and you've got a system with controls that you do not know anything about. They were asking us, to see if we could help them out, but we don't know the software that's on there. We don't know what it or how it was built. So going with new avoids those kind of things. You've got support from the beginning with a system or with a manufacturer that can help you with the system right away. We're limited as to what we can do when we don't know what the equipment is, or also, where it's been. But so at the end of the day, it really comes down to you. You have to make that decision, like I said at the beginning of this meeting, or the beginning of this slide. You really need to make that decision, and what works for you. You're going to have to spend money one way or the other. Spending money on new equipment does make a lot of sense a lot of times. One more customer story I had, that they were also looking at, I was talking about them replacing that kettle whirlpool. They're also looking at just replacing the whole system, so they won't have a new kettle whirlpool and an old mash tun. But you have to make those decisions, and I just hope I helped you out a little bit here with looking at what you need to do there. Did want to say, once again, this is my name and numbers here, contact information right here, and wanted to put out a big thank you to two people, or two creatures. Andrew, thanks again for doing this. I think it's still amazing that you can do this, and it's free to the brewing community. It's absolutely amazing. You're the Energizer Bunny. Thanks so much for what you do. And then I want to thank my dog over here, Penny. She gets to hear me talk all the time. She's laying there looking at me right now, thinking I'm crazy because I'm talking to the screen. But with that, I'm going to open it up for questions. And if not, please feel free to reach out to me later, and I'm happy to help at any time. I don't see any questions right now. Again, feel free to reach me at the numbers I showed you earlier. And happy brewing, everybody. Talk to you soon.